Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. All, I don't know, how many are there? Um, Hello and welcome to the Eberswalde Universe live streaming. And we're just checking that we've got everything working. Um, we had a lot of, we've had a few technical issues over the last few times. So we're hoping that is more settled now. And we are just going through the process of checking that the audio is fine. So if you'd bear with me a second. It does seem to be better. Um, let's see, the first time we tried this on Twitch was 6 months ago, 7 months ago, and we had all sorts of problems. The feed kept dropping out. I think it was partly to do with, um, well, I think it was possibly to do with Christmas time. It was done either a couple of days after Christmas when everybody's at home using the internet, and it was probably not the best time to use. So we tried it, it kept jumping, it kept dropping out every 5 or so minutes. So it was quite sporadic. Um, it was quite painful actually trying to get it, trying to have some kind of structure. But we learned from it and we then went into a bit of chaos. So everything got put on hold, and we did the previous, which one would be June? Yeah, end of June. We did the first um, proper stream, but we also had technical issues with that one as well, and that was done on YouTube. We They had issues with the audio. It was my fault. Basically, when you are streaming, um, and your monitors are playing back as well. So they're delayed, but the um, what you call it, the feedback loop was basically kicking in. So because I hadn't turned it off silent to mute, so it was playing silently back internally. And as you see, I don't have headphones because I can't connect to this system. The laptop I've got here doesn't allow me to hook in. I would need to have Bluetooth headphones, which I'll probably need to get. And so I couldn't hear it. So I went on rambling on for an hour, and I had the most horrendous audio going. So I can only apologise for that, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it will work. So we seem to be doing okay at the moment. Fingers crossed. We've got 6 minutes going, and we're still on air. So that's that's a big plus. That's a big plus. So, welcome to um, Eberswalde live stream. Um, I'm David. If you don't already know, if you're new to this is a chance to talk directly with people who engage with Eberswalde, um, either through via patrons or um, sponsors or any people who are just interested in and follow the project. It's just a bit of a roundup every month just to see where we are, what we're doing, where we're going, um, any important news, any interesting news, and that's the idea that we'll have some kind of um, interaction with the audience as to where we are, what we're doing, and that's the general idea. Um, you're gonna have to you'll have to excuse me. I had a bit of a migraine earlier this today, and I thought it was going to cripple me. Fortunately, it subsided in time. Unfortunately, if you've ever had migraine, you'll find that it does linger and it just leaves you a bit woolly for a few hours afterwards. So yeah, I might forget a few words, might forget a few, forget what I'm saying. Hopefully not. We'll manage to keep going. So where are we, what we're doing? Well, the first bit of news would be the studio. The studio that we are in. Um, if you're on Patreon, you'll see or have seen some pictures or photos of the development. We have basically taken what is an old bedroom with a really hideous paint scheme, and we've repainted it, and we have redecorated it, and I would be in a position to actually show you the whole thing. We are 99% complete. The bookcases are all done, which you can probably just see a glimpse of what's going on. There's a lot more going on there, so you will get to see more of it in time. We've got some acoustic panels on the walls, notice boards, all the storage and stuff is all laid out. The only thing that the 1% that we haven't got is the blinds, and you might wonder why there's no lighting, and that's because everything is the sun is just coming streaming. We're west facing, so the sun is just coming streaming through the window at the moment, and it is just going to have to deal with it until I can get the blinds up, and hopefully by next time we'll have the blinds all up and done, so we can actually control the lights and um, had a bit more soundproofing. Um, we're on the high street, and it's you do get a lot of road noise coming through, so we might get the odd boy racer going up and down, banging and popping, or you'll hear the fire engine going screaming past as well on another call. So yeah, studio almost done. It's looking really good. I will endeavour to have a bit of a tour for the next time. Um, Using the system I've got now, so at least I can pre-record and um, do a little video videoette of the studio, what it looks like. Um, just give you a guided tour on that, so we can show you a bit of show and tell for the next time. And what else have we got? I've got a little noteboard down here with all the lists. So high tech. It's just a little whiteboard with markers written on it. Um, yeah, the studio was decorated. Uh, yes, it was intended to be. Um, it was intended to be the main room that was going to be decorated, and we hadn't even considered the rest of the house. Unfortunately, but now we've decided that the rest of the house actually needs to be tarted up a bit as well. So yeah, that's one of my other jobs in between trying to do Eberswalde is to actually sort out the house and do a bit of painting and decorating. So that's going to be fun and games. So it's basically this times another 8 rooms, 8 or 9 rooms. It's all different sizes and inside and out. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be knackering. Um, so yeah, if you're not familiar, I am British. I am based in the UK. I am a There's two of us who work on this project. It's my creation, and I predominantly drive the stories, the media, the public interactions, the patron side of it. It's predominantly myself. But as things get busier, And then hopefully I'll start bringing in other people to help with other things. So most of the time you'll see just me. Sometimes you'll see Emma come in and help. Um, and hopefully, if we do start getting more people on the live streams, I'll need an extra pair of hands and also someone else to talk to, which would be nice. Because I'm sure you don't want to hear me rambling on for a whole hour. But yeah, that's if there's if anyone's out there or does join us, then you're welcome to leave a message, say who you are, where you are, what you're up to. If you've got any questions, feel free to do that. Um, so yeah, decorating that will be yeah. So hopefully we'll get that done. Not too won't take too long, and we'll get that finished, and then we can go back to spending all that creative time doing the writing, creating videos, content, and everything else that's going on with the project, which some of it we'll talk about today. Uh, the last video was a bit of a waste of time. I just rambled on for an hour, and I don't think anyone listened to it or heard or could make out any detail. I can't actually remember what we covered, but we'll just I'll try and do a bit of a recap if I can. Um, so if you're completely new to this and you don't know what's anything about, so the Eberswalde is the universe name, the umbrella for everything that's goes on in the world, in this story world. So the first one was Death in Podville, and that was the audio drama that started everything off. And that was supposed to be just a standalone with maybe 2 or 3 seasons. Uh, Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out that way. COVID had a big impact on that. Business and life got in the way, so um, that became a standalone drama. But I still wanted to have the rest of the story continue, so I changed the story to a live action or a live um, interactive story that was done online. So I used what was Twitter at the time. So over about 15 months, the next part of the story was told via social media by what was Twitter and then became X, and then branching out to things like blog sites and um, Facebook pages and websites and things all over um, the internet, so that it was quite a sort of a multi-layer, um, non-linear story, and that was that was done and tied up. And when I sat back and actually looked at it, there were a lot of um, issues with it. Partly, I don't like X. I don't like the way X has gone. It is a cesspool, to be blunt, and it's not something that I want people to be going to look at the project that we were doing. Um, I'm desperately trying to take everything off, um, copy it, and transfer it into another format which can be used independently, which doesn't rely on the platform. So after a lot of thought, I then decided that I would create what led into what is called the Eberswalde Chronicles, which is a diary of events. So instead of taking the whole 15 months, I'm taking the last 100 days, 90 days or so, and 3 months, and retelling that story and in that time period. So on a day-to-day basis, because a lot was happening, and you can only put so much into 140 characters on a post. Everything was done live. Um, the media that was created was done live. We were doing, or I was doing, um, journeys up and down the country, from fictitious place or real places, and a fictitious journey, um, going up and down, stopping at the right stations at the right time, keeping a track on the trains, so monitoring live where they were on the railway line, um, what time they expected to be, so you can say yes, and we're coming into Edinburgh, and then do a photo of providing a photo of someone looking out the window going through Edinburgh, so it was quite involved and it's quite intense, but a lot of errors and mistakes crept into the narrative because it was done so fast. So the idea of the Chronicles is to take that and rewrite the the thought process. The hero Gemma and all the other characters, they obviously went through reasons and thoughts as to what they were doing and what they were meaning when they put those posts out. So the idea is to take each of those posts and have that as the start point, and then have the diary entry behind, which is explaining what was going on at the time, what was the thinking, what was the motivation, um, and then once that's done, then adding other layers of um, the the immersive, not immersive side, but the interactive side of it, the unfiction side of it, which goes across the whole the story arc, and then an element of ARG within that. Um, it's 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 a defined story. It doesn't change. It's still an unfiction, but the IG gives you a sort of an interaction level where you can hopefully solve problems, take on different journeys, and just gives you a broader um, element to a broader spectrum to the story that's been pushed. So that's the idea. Um, we will see where that goes. So yeah, that's the main crux of it. The diary is being written at the moment. Um, where it's tucked away quite nicely, um, and it's basically me writing from Gemma's perspective over those 90 odd days, um, her life and the investigations that she's doing at the time, which culminates the end of the story. And I'll not say anything more about that, unless you've already seen the online story, which kind of gives well, it gives you away. The story narrative, it kind of um, it's not a spoiler. It's not a game changer. All we're doing is just going into a much deeper depth as to what's happened and why the outcome played out the way it did. So that's the idea from behind that. So yeah, we've got trying to do codes and more cryptic side of it and puzzles and things like that. So that's taking a bit of time to sort of compute and actually put together a sort of codes and puzzles that are intrinsic to the nature of the story and not just for the just for the um, not just for the purpose of having problems in codes. And I say that because some just go and like, oh, we've got this problem. Okay, we'll just solve this random graphics pattern where you have to put all these colors together to create a solution, which then, or you suddenly have to find this water diagram. You've got to put the tubes all together so you make this plumbing thing work again. And you're like, yeah, okay, that's it won't be like that. It'll hopefully, fingers crossed, any kind of problem solving required will be relevant to the story that's being told at the time. So yeah, there's a lot of work that's going into this, and it's probably taken a bit longer than I was expecting, just because of the layers. So you start off with the daily life of Gemma and how that story transitions across everything that's happened, um, all the cases. then adding then all the layers of the case and investigation, and then all the problems and real world activities that are interacting with. So it's quite a deep, multi-layered story. And then we're trying to find out the best way to actually try and take that and actually um, have that so that the audience can interact with it or some kind of level of interaction with it. Um, so they engage. What kind of platform do we use? Do we use YouTube? Do we go onto TikTok? Do we use YouTube, use Shorts, Facebook Shorts, or do we just go for straightforward videos and just go from there? So there's still a lot of mechanics behind the story, how we actually portray this, and there's a lot of homework being done to try and find something similar and portrayed in a certain way, and I'm struggling to find anything that does come anywhere near. Um, or certainly so far. I'm not saying there isn't anything out there. I'm just it's the nearest I would say would actually have to be a full blown computer game. The first person adventure, um, exploring um, some of these problem solving haunted house, cryptic. You go into a room, you solve problems, you get diary entries, you go here, then. So they are out there, but they tend to be more gaming um, engines, and that's not something I want to go down specifically. So I'm now trying to find another way to do it. I'm looking at possibly using interacting video and using Blender as the medium instead of um, having everything in something like Premiere Pro or any video editing, and then having all the stuff that's layered in there. Um, Using putting the video straight into Blender and then playing that with all the elements that are then interacting with it. So that is something that I am looking at and will explore further, and we'll probably do some trials on it, and we'll probably be asking patrons what their feedback is on, or like do like a sample on a sample audience, just to see how it fares, whether it's usable, understandable, and whether it makes sense. So there we go. That is the Chronicles. So what else we've got? Echoes of the Heart. Echo of the Heart is um, it's the follow-on. Actually, I'll go jump back because I've skipped over a bit of, just because of the nature of the narrative. So, The Witches of Warboys. It um, is a documentary on a historical case. It was supposed to be a filler. It was supposed to be 5-10 minute um, film that was created by characters in the story. It was done to just give them a reason to do something. However, once we actually started doing the video and started doing the research, we actually found out there was a lot more going on than what we originally thought and what I was led to believe. So the documentary has suddenly gone from 5 minutes to an hour or thereabouts, and there's a lot of work, a lot of talking to a lot of people who are very knowledgeable in the subject, and having the time to actually interview people, either online or on location, or we've had it in the studio as well, and talking to different perspectives. So you've got experts, historians, and people who are self-proclaimed witches, and people who have got an an understanding or a background in witchcraft as well, just to bring a perspective across a wide perspective across the story as well. So that's the idea. That's so that is ongoing, and it does need a bit of an update on where we are at. So what are we doing? We've done a lot of um, the sourcing, so we know the story, we know the background, we know where everything happened. We have filmed various locations around, photographs and videos of locations around the town that are involved. And we have spoken to some of the experts, and we just need to finish off a couple more. And then we need to go and do um, the live on location um, descriptions and pieces to camera to sort of fill the story together. Um, and we'll see where it goes. And hopefully we can actually get some, sorry, try and get some well established people who can um, give their time and help us create this documentary. So that's that. So that was the reason for doing um, Witches War Boys. Like I said, was just to do a base film, which was supposed to be a scene setter for what is Echoes of the Heart, which is a story that basically follows on from um, the Witches of War Boys. It's Witches of War Boys sets a precedence in this area, in the Fenlands, um, at a certain particular time in history. There is a culture of the way people being treated, and a lot of excuses of being labelled as a witch to justify their end game. So that's the idea. Is it explains what it is, what it's like to be there, and then that goes into this series of episodes of drama, which um, we are in the process of writing, and will take, I don't know, probably about 6 months to film, and it's following this lady as she goes about on her journey from War Boys, which is where it starts, um, to a new location somewhere else in the fens, and it's her journey as she travels, who she meets on the way, which then leads into another project later on. So this is like the background filler to something else. So that's the idea anyway. So there's a lot of things going on, and but they all happen sequentially. But it's just trying to set everything up in so that we can then um, yeah. So you've got Death in Podville, and then you've got the online thing, and then you've got the Witches of War Boys, and then that leads into I'm sorry, the Chronicles, which then leads into the Witches of War Boys, which leads into Echoes of the Heart. So there's a logical progression, and you've got various characters who are involved in the stories that either come back or continue. Um, so that's the idea. But at the moment, Echoes is kind of it's on hold until we can get the Witches of War Boys done. I mean, it's kind of been developed. It's not like there's nothing there. It's a case of we're trying to set up um, characters and positions, locations, and who's involved, why are they involved. So a lot of the background work, a lot of the research is continuing on. It's actually sitting down with pen and paper and actually writing down the script. That's still to be done. But the structure and everything else behind it is all developing slowly. Um, Not as fast as I would like, but it's coming along. Um, so I mentioned patrons. We are on Patreon. If you haven't seen, we're also on Ko-fi as well. Um, I do most of the stuff because of the interactions. I have more on Patreon. You are welcome to come along and support. You can either follow us for free, or you can become a paid member and have access to more information, um, more of the detailed stuff, which is limited behind paywalls. And you're, or you can just come along and just follow um, general general news alerts that come out every so often and just give a rough idea what's going on. Um, and then hopefully, if you are, then you might be interested in actually following us and supporting us properly, which would mean an awful lot to us and to the project. It's We have a couple of patrons at the moment, and every pound that we get is all used with covering the cost of licensing and um, equipment and petrol and anything else when we're doing the going out and about and filming and just trying to get this keep this project going. um, I am now doing this full time with the exception of doing the painting. This is now my full-time job. um, I say that it's trying to actually get yourself to actually sit down and do it full time is another matter. But it's we're having a bit of see. This is the problem I was having before. I'm getting a bit glitchy. So hopefully it stays. It's saying it's excellent, but we'll just see how it goes. Yeah, it seems to be all right. Um, yeah, it's there is yeah, we've also got a Discord channel as well if you want, and that really will only be um utilized more. There's a base structure there for everything, and um, if people don't use it, then it doesn't. Not everybody is really that engaged in Discord. I think with the demographics that we've got at the moment is tends to be a lot more mature audience in some respects. There's a younger generation, there's an older generation. Some of it's down to the subjects are just more interesting to people more my age, and there's it's it's trying to keep the platforms where I get the most engagement there at the moment, and when we get more engagement across different platforms, then we'll start increasing the coverage from there. It's a bit of a chicken and the eggs scenario. It's like, do I spend time promoting something where nobody's going to use it, or do I just work on the places where the people are coming, and then hope that they will then cross over to other platforms? I don't know. We'll just see where it goes. Um, so yeah, it's there's information, there's ways to support the project, and it would be so much appreciated if you do come forward and support us. We have 3 tiers. um, they're basically revolved around investigating, um, junior investigator, detective kind of thing. So it's you have 3 levels. I mean, it's what, £2 for level 1, £4 for the level 2, and then £8 for level 3. And it's not massively amount, and everything, all the money goes back into the project. And I say it just pays for everything just to keep it. The things like the software and stuff that we have to license to keep that running. But everything keeps going fine. Um, Anything else? Um, yeah, the idea. So what we'll do is every 4 weeks, or the fourth week of every month, um, I will hold this session on Twitch as long as it behaves. I think it has done so far. It's only been one wobble so far, and I will record this as it's going to Twitch. So it'll sit on Twitch for a bit, and people can watch it. But then what I'll do is I will take this and I will upload it to YouTube onto the Eberswalde YouTube page, and there it will then be there forever. Because Twitch, so far, I've not worked out yet, but Twitch will only stay on for a bit and then it disappears. There are ways to make it a archived piece. Um, I just haven't quite worked that out yet. So that is a future lesson. Hopefully, we'll have more people engaging in the future, and we'll actually have more interactions and more chat as we go forward. Um, I'm not expecting anyone to come in and watch for the next first couple of shows because people don't know what it is and what we're doing and where we are. There's been limited promotions and advertising. There have been a few links out. Maybe Sunday night is not the best time for this particular platform. I don't know. Um, but as we get more reliant and more routine and more regular, I can start putting out more confidently actually putting out posts for Facebook and other platforms to try and get people in. So much more notice and also more last minute notices as well. It's the having all the stuff preloaded. Because when you're sitting down here and you're going through your notes and you're setting everything up and you're making sure everything's working, you don't have time to set up news alerts and things to go in it. So I need to prep all them so they all happen automatically. So I can just focus on doing this and making sure that this is working, that the stream's working, um, the music and all the holding pages and everything is working. Because at the end of the day, I'm still fairly new to this. I've done bits and pieces, but you don't get really chance to practice doing live streaming until you actually do it. So, um, but as others have said, that you just need to do it. You actually just have to go out there and start doing it, and we'll see where it goes. You know, we may end up with 1 million viewers in 2 years' time. We might still only have two viewers in 2 years' time. Who knows? And I'd hope that we'd get some more, but we'll see where we go from here. It would be nice to have someone else to talk to and have some guests and other people on the show as well. Um, I think that is it. Trying to think of anything else that is relevant. So I don't want to just ramble on for no reason at all. I want to just try and keep it um, more more relevant to what we're doing. So I can't think of anything else that's related. Um, I mean, we can go off topic when we actually start having other people in. We can start going off topic and we can talk about other things as well. But kind of need to have that two-way conversation as well. So yeah, okay. Well, as I say, I'm not feeling brilliant after my migraine earlier, so I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for taking the time, even if you're watching this on catch up or on YouTube when it's out. Thank you for watching and spending the time listening to me rambling on. Hope you find it useful. Leave comments, subscribe, and subscribe, and um, support and notify and share and everything like. And just let other people know that it's out there and stuff's happening. We're hoping that we will start making this a bigger universe and more things are happening, and just want to try and make it fun. So yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know with ways to improve or places to share or if places that we're not getting to, which we should be getting to. Um, we'll not touch on story ideas at the moment. That's something else. We'll keep clear of that at the moment because I want to keep everything I'm doing as fresh and my narrative. Um, but just yeah, let us know how you receive the information, how it comes across, whether you're enjoying it or not. So that's what I'm trying to get at. So that's it. That's it for today. I'm going to go and make some food. Although someone else has just joined. Ooh, got new listen. So whoever you are, hello and welcome to the stream. Say hello if you want. I'm just debating on whether to end and uh, go and make some tea because I've not had anything yet. So, but if you're on, if you can chat, if you want to say hello or ask a question, you can. If not, um, you'll have to go back and watch the rest of the 44 minutes that has elapsed and see what you have missed. But do thank you for taking the effort to join. I appreciate it. What? So yeah, we're having a few bit rates issues. So yeah, okay. Well, thank you very much for joining, and we will see you in 4 weeks' time, and hopefully have a bit more structure and a bit more information, and hopefully a few more interactives. So that's it for me today, and we'll see you again later. Bye.